Hi everybody. Mr. Pash is back. Here with my first video here for you guys for distance learning. Um, Hopefully I do pretty well for this one, but I'm sure I have a lot to learn and to do making these videos and just keeping the information clear and concise for you guys and not overdoing it here. So um, hopefully you guys are all doing well. Hopefully you and your families are all doing well. I wish you guys all the best out there. Just want to say I miss you guys, and um, I miss interacting with you guys on a daily basis, being at school. But this is definitely not the most beneficial situation for computer graphics class. But I'll try to do my best to keep it engaging and keep the learning going for the rest of the year here. Which isn't too long. I think, with this week, we only have about 7 or 8 weeks of school left, considering. So I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to try to keep this video to 10 minutes and under, as well as my future videos, but I do need to communicate some things that, I guess some older assignments and stuff like that, and how the class is going to operate going forward. Let me put this back up here. So I think first thing is missing assignments for some of you guys. Some of you guys still had some stuff on your desktops. Some of you guys have already reached out to me and asked about it. And for those people and everybody else who's missing assignments, if you guys can just email me, give me your login number as well as what assignments I need to look for. And when I get back on campus, either this week or next week, I can look through your computers and find those assignments for you, and I'll do my best to do that. If they're not on the desktop, I'm not sure what else I can do there. Going forward, give you guys maybe some other assignments that you could do for credit for those ones that you guys are missing. Let's see. The typography assignment, we're right in the middle of that, which is, sad to say, because I was looking forward to a lot of your designs. You guys were doing really well on that. We did a lot of practice leading up to that assignment, and now I really don't know what to do with it. I think we have to kind of scrap it, because you guys, for future assignments, I don't know if we can even work on computers using Adobe and other stuff. So we'll just let that be for now, unless I can come up with a different solution for that. But for now, it's not going to be graded, so we'll just kind of skip over that. Let's see, anything else? Oh yeah, with that typography assignment, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. You guys did research on that. Most of you guys did it on a Google Doc. Those I still want. So if you guys can just forward that to my email, you can either share it or save as a PDF and then attach it to an email thread. That'd be great, and I'll just grade those, for credit since you guys did that. So keep that in mind. I'll send out another announcement for that. Okay, so for this week, some of you guys may have looked at this. I'm just gonna try to go over it briefly and get straight to the main points here. I'm gonna keep everything in the Google Slides here, so you guys can always refer back to that. I might add some stuff to it, and if I do, I'll send that out in an announcement, just for you guys to look out for that stuff. Hopefully this works out for you guys. I think it's a good system for you guys to kind of refer back to. You guys may have seen the schedule for classes. Some of you guys probably already started some classes. For visual arts, we're Wednesdays from anytime from 1 to 3 p.m. I'm not going to have any classes this week unless I feel like a lot of people are confused or asking a lot of questions. Then I'll hold a class. But for the most part, I don't see the need to right now, but we'll see. I'm myself, I'm in an online class for my master's degree, and it's all online, and we rarely meet virtually on class. Usually the teacher uploads a video like this, goes over the assignments, and if we have any questions as students, then of course we email her or him, and you know, they're good about answering emails as well as I will be. So just feel free to ask me any questions. But again, if I feel the need like we need to meet up in class just to hash everything out, we'll do that. So I'll send out an announcement for that. So just hopefully you guys have it connected on your phones where you guys receive announcements that pop up there. And if you don't, I'd recommend you guys adding that to your phone if you can. Okay, so this week what I'm going to have you guys do is do another research type assignment, but we're going to do it in a Google Slide. So you're going to keep that design process going. And we don't have Photoshop or Illustrator to work with. We have Google Slides, so we're going to try to maximize its possibilities as much as we can. What I'd like you guys to do is design your own slides according to the research, and it's going to be about 6 slides minimum. And I have those laid out for you guys, what should be on each of those slides. And it's going to be on design movements. And this is a concept that I really haven't got to in any of my classes, because usually I do the typography, and by then most people are kind of overloaded with design concepts and they just want to get back to Photoshop, as you guys did in my class. So I never really had a pocket of time to do that. So it is very important though. Researching these design movements gives you guys a good understanding and background with, you know, design features that a lot of people use now, because they're always going back to the past and reutilizing some of the design features in there, and even in future designs. And hopefully you guys will find some of these pretty interesting. So what I have here on this front page is I'm giving you guys the choice to choose from. Some of them, most of them are design movements, but there's a couple people in here, just specific people that kind of stand out and are very prominent to design movements. So I put those in there. And what I would do first is kind of go through all these, just kind of do a Google search and see what they look like, and figure out one that, you know, connects with you a little bit more, something that stands out with you, and just go with that. You should be able to find a good deal of information for all of these. I would like you guys to, in your research, you know, do at least 3 references, so it's just not all on Wikipedia. But of course, Wikipedia I'm good with. That's a good place to start, just to kind of give you guys some background information and see if you can, you know, compare and contrast the information you're getting with Wikipedia to other resources. Just make sure it matches up, and hopefully you guys might get a little bit more detail on other references as well. Okay. The next slide here's kind of the main criteria, you know, designing in Google Slides. I would like you guys to kind of, you know, either start with the blank slate. What I don't want you guys to do is the default already in Google Slides. I don't want any of those. So there's 2 ways you guys can go about this. Kind of start with a blank canvas and start with like a background color, and continue to add shapes with different color fills and color schemes, and, you know, adding in the images that you guys are going to find and connect it with your research. Another way to go about it is Google Slides. You can download some unique themes. You know, you can use some of these. I would like you guys to kind of pick them apart, I guess, and rearrange them to best suit your design, but that's also doable if you guys wanted to. Just make sure those themes reflect your design movement. Like, for example, like if it's something like Art Deco, which is very geometric, you're not going to want like a watercolor background. You know, it's not going to connect very well. So just keep that in mind. See, research prompts. This gets further in detail on the next one. So basically, looking at background information, we're looking at the time period of the design movement, what region it came from, and maybe spread out to, and a little bit about the socio-political atmosphere of the time and place. And I know that sounds pretty intense, but a lot of these design movements are kind of connected with the cultures that they come from, and also possibly political movements too, like something like Russian constructivism. It's very connected with communism at the time. And so you're going to find that in some of your research. So see what kind of implications are there connected with the design. And so I'll kind of set the tone to, where we are. And the next thing I would like you guys to do, sorry, it keeps moving, is describe the design features. So you're going to grab what you feel are the best examples for that time period. I would say minimum 2 to describe, and I got to put that in here. And so you're just describing, what makes it a style. There's going to be consistent features that, go across all the examples you see. And so I want you guys to pinpoint those on your slides here. Next one is identify notable artists. You're going to get at least 1 or 2 notable artists in there. Some specific people that really represent the design movement in there, and just give me a little bit of background about those guys or girls, and what they contributed to the design movement there. So a little bit more in depth, this next slide is the minimum 6 slides here, and kind of a explanation of what should be on each one. So give this one a close look. Feel free to add a little bit more if you feel like there needs to be more, but basically we got a title slide identifying your design movement or person. Put your name on that, and this is really going to set the tone for your design for your future slides. So everything should be, design-wise, should be consistent. You're using the same colors, using the same shapes. You'll have different images, but for each slide, kind of change the layout for each, so it's just not the same thing, like very repetitive, but at least you're using consistency with the colors and shapes and other design features there. So the next slide, you're going to put in the background, as we discussed previously. The third one, you're going to describe the design features, those ones with the examples. I recommend labeling with, just lines or arrows. You'll make little text boxes like, here in Art Deco we see geometric shapes or a specific type of shading, or maybe a specific type of color palette. And feel free to use more slides if you need to. If you just want to do, 1 slide per 1 example, feel free to do that. If you want to do more than 2 examples, add more slides. Number 4, just this is the background of the artist. So here we'll probably see more examples of their work and what this person looks like, maybe where they came from, maybe what kind of job they had. And the last one is a conclusion. So just reflect on what you learned. Just kind of give me an idea of, what your thoughts were just about everything that you were able to research. And that's connected to, historical facts, or even what you guys thought about the design style itself, whether you liked it or not. And please describe why. Okay. And the last slide, you're just going to put in your references there for the last slide. Okay, so minimum 6 slides. Feel free to do a little bit more if you guys want. And let's see, last thing here. Here's some examples for you guys for maybe some design techniques for Google. We're very limited on what we can do here, but we can repeat some topics that we were discussing in class. We can't make PNGs, but feel free to try to find some. Using the PNGs really opens up the space. It doesn't set it in a box, and so it kind of makes it a little bit more free-flowing. So see what you can find for PNGs there, especially with people. Maybe you guys can find a portrait that's already cut out for you. I don't know why it keeps jumping around. Text and design, that's still, you're still able to do that. So here's just kind of a funny play on Toulouse-Lautrec, moving those letters around, resizing them. You guys can do that with the text boxes, which are right here in Google Slides. Make use of lines, outlines of shapes, or fills of shapes. These with the shapes you can do with just squares. You can do the text boxes and fill, or you can do an outline border color, and this is the thickness here of how thick you want that to be. And of course you can change the color there, and lines are in here, and also shapes. If you want to use some different shapes in there, like I see some quotes in there that maybe that could be useful for you guys. So see what we can add there. Drop shadows, adding a little bit of depth to the design. I usually use these. Sorry. I usually use drop shadow to add a little bit of depth. To do that, you want to click on your text or shapes, and let's see, where is it? There we go. Under these three dots, you're going to want to look for format options and drop shadow here. You can change the color, the transparency, the angle, the distance. You can see it happening there, and the blurred if you want it super crispy, or a little bit blurred out. Lower the transparency or heighten the transparency. You can also change the color. If you guys change color, what I recommend is just look at your background color and do a darker version of that. So it's blue, I might pick like a dark purple even, it's close, or a dark blue. That way it's like really subtle. If you do like opposite colors, like a yellow, the glow feature, I guess it's up to you, but I'm not too hot on that. Maybe it works. Practice with that, or experiment. Okay, and off to the right we have the grading, and so again, keeping that design consistent. Use a variety of layout options for each of your 6 slides. And use of images and colors and other visuals that reflect the design movement as much as possible. And let's see, continue to use hierarchy and contrast, you know, really big title, and then maybe supportive information a little bit smaller, so keep that in mind. And then contrast to really make things kind of pop out there and emphasize different aspects of your design. Research information is thorough, correct, and summarized, and please try to put into your own words, and really that summary part, really concentrate on that. I don't want you guys copying and pasting like whole blocks of paragraphs here. Just kind of get to the main points here. And what I mean by thorough is not a lot, it's just you're finding different aspects about the design movement, not a whole lot about one thing. It's just a variety of things. Okay, and then the use of 3 references, and should be good to go. So turning in for that, on the front page here I have this, and it's a link to a Google Doc, which you guys see popped up there, and I'll even open it up. And so you're going to get your link once you guys are done, find your period, you're going to type your name, you know, Tony Pash. And right underneath that, you're going to, you know, paste your link in there, and that should be good. If it looks like that, that's fine. Should be good. Sometimes you can rename your links. Looks a little bit cleaner, but doesn't matter. Okay, so hopefully that made sense for you guys. If you guys have any questions, again, please email me, and if I'll send out announcements to, if there's a lot of questions about the same thing, I'll send out an announcement, you know, or even another video if I need to. Okay, all right, well, wish you guys well, wish you guys all the best, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.